Joe Rhino here, and today's video is going to be part toy hunt and part toy haul. The first part of the video is going to be the trip that I took to Canada recently, and on the way there I wanted to stop at as many stores that I could. The other part of the video will be the stuff that I go over that I picked up on my trip. So please join me, and then I'll see you on the other side of the toy hunt. Hey guys, Joe Rhino here, and I don't know if you guys could see me because of the sun, but I'm on vacation and we decided to visit ToysRus, yay! So I'll see what they have inside and try to sneak a couple videos in while I'm in there. 2. Hey guys, this is probably my last ToysRus my trip. Might try to hit one more. It might be too much out of the way, but I just thought this was kind of cool. I don't know how well it shows up. All right, we're gonna go in. they had a couple cool things that I haven't seen before. WWE, and I believe that was it. But I'm going to check an EB Games and then see what else we could find on the way home. All right, so that was my trip to Canada. It was an awesome experience. Just the scenery, the towns that we stopped in. We actually stayed in Montreal, and it kind of had, from the Chicago suburbs, so it kind of had a Chicago downtown feel to it. But just in general, it was really nice visiting the country. Now, heading up there before, I think pretty much a week before my trip, the Walmart exclusive Luke Skywalker Black Series started hitting stores in Canada. So I was like trying to look around to see if there was ways that I could find out if stores had them in stock, and I stumbled onto I think it was a YouTube video that I watched that he talked about a website, kind of like what we have in the States called Brickseek, I believe that's what it's called. It's similar to that, where it uses the inventory in stores, and then they could look up. So I punched that in and punched that into all the stops that we were already planning on stopping at and the places we were staying at. And then it actually showed the inventory of the Lukes that they had in stock. But sadly, every store we went to, they weren't on the shelf. They showed up in their inventory as, I think it was the inventory location. It wasn't on there. And there was two stores I stopped into. They're really helpful, and they basically explained to me when it didn't have a location, that meant that it was either on like a side end cap or like a temporary display, or that means that they're going to be resetting the aisle or resetting the section. And there was one lady that printed out a tag for me, and it showed where it was showing up there was something else in its place. So she said that it's most likely a set that's going to be, put into place in the next couple of weeks, and then there'll be more Lukes put on there. So that was the one part that it was a little bummer. I wasn't able to find that, but I made a couple friends in Canada, and just in all the different groups and stuff like that, and trying to make deals with some of them where if they could hook me up, like I have my big group of friends, if I could get stuff that will help us get some of the exclusives, because Walmart exclusives in the States are one of the worst. But not only can I, if they could help us, then when there's an exclusive that comes out here, I could help them too. So hopefully that pans out. But from there, as you saw in the video, I hit some ToysRus. That was another thing. If I just went to one ToysRus, I just felt like that would have been worth it, just to do that again. And it was. The first ToysRus we went into was like perfect. It had like a big corner setup. Most of them had, I think they were doing Bricktober or whatever for Lego, so they all had the Lego setup. But this one had like, I think it was Frozen, Star Wars, and something else. And then they had a small little island area or whatever. And then, but most of the other ones, they're kind of like small ToysRus. There was one that, I don't know if I took a video or not, but it was inside of a mall, and I thought that was kind of weird. But then again, moving to what ToysRus in the States is going to do. It kind of seems like that's what they're going to do, is move more into like the mall spaces and stuff like that. But we went to ToysRus, and one of the things that I got that I wasn't planning on getting, I mentioned in the past that I don't really collect pops and stuff like that, but one of the stores that we stopped into had a Jeffrey pop, and it's a Batman. I don't know if you can see it, but it is Jeffrey dressed as Batman. And I thought that was cool. So I text my cousin because he's a really big pop collector. And he said if I could get a good one, because he opens his, if I could get a good painted one, that he would take one. So as like a memento of just going and stuff like that, my wife and I got one. And I got one for my cousin. And like I said, I'll let him pick the better one since he opens his. We kind of just set ours on a shelf. But that was the one surprise that I was happy to get that. Alright, the other thing I got while we were at ToysRus was this. I almost forgot about it, but it was Vintage Collection Gamorrean Guard. Now it's the one that they reissued. I haven't seen them in stores around here. I think around here you can only get them online. But we had a couple years past, and then when I found out that they were going to be re-releasing them, I sold one of them, and then I was lucky enough to get another one for my son's collection. So the next couple of things I'm going to go through, I'm just going to kind of go by memory of like just the different stores, because I don't exactly remember the order that I went into, the stores and what I got. But one of the things I got was the Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi Black Series. Here in the States, it's going to be a Walgreens exclusive. But this one I found at EB Games. I think it was the first night or the first morning after we stopped. So a lot of people are questioning like the look of this Obi-Wan, because he is almost like a combination of the two Clone Wars animation Obi-Wans. So if you remember, this is the Obi-Wan that we got in the animated series that went on for 6 or 7 seasons. And then the previous one, which was more like hand-drawn, the Obi-Wan armor looked like this, but he had the longer hair and stuff like that. So my personal thoughts are this is just Hasbro's way of combining the two and then having like their own version of it. But I was really happy to find him, because I didn't know he was coming out at the time. And like I've said in the past, I love clones. And I really did not like the other Obi-Wan Kenobi they had, Revenge of the Sith. His face always looked off to me. So maybe if anything, if I could get one of those and get another head and pop it on and see how that looks or whatnot. But I was really happy with that purchase. And then we got back on the road and we went to a couple different places. And like I said, a lot of the Walmarts, whenever we stopped at those, I struck out. So the next figure I got was at an EB Games in a mall near our hotel, and it's this guy here, the Purge Trooper. I'm actually thinking of opening him up and doing a review. I guess it depends. I haven't really looked online if there's like a million reviews out right now, which I don't think there are, because I think he also showed up in, I want to say Australia or something like that. But it was a nice surprise, and a lot of people were asking me, I think I tweeted about him, a lot of people were asking me if he's available or how many they have and stuff like that. And out of all the stores, which I think was about 6 EB Games we stopped at, there was only one of them that I saw him. When I got home, I noticed more and more people like on the western side of Canada were posting that like they found like 8 and 10 and stuff like that. So maybe they're similar to the States, where they get their stuff on the east or the west coast and it slowly trickles across the country. But one of the cool things was we got this free pin, and the lady was trying to get me to pre-order the game, and I explained I'm from the States and stuff like that. But she asked me, one of the things in Montreal, if you've never been there, most of the people speak French there. And every time we went to a shop, the first thing we would ask them is, do you speak English? Because half the stuff we couldn't understand. My son is taking French in school right now, so he understood a little, and he would like point a couple things out, but it's just like basic French. But she asked me if we spoke anything, and then I pointed to my son, and he said a couple phrases, and then she handed us this pin. So I don't know how well it'll show up, but it also has the date. So a lot of people are speculating this is the figure that you're gonna get with the bundle, and you know, if they're making pins and stuff like that, that might kind of make sense. So after this figure, I think that's all the figures that we got while we were in town. The rest of the stuff I got after we left, and then we hit stores on our route home and everything like that. So one of the Walmarts I stopped into, this is one of the ones where the guy was really helpful. I couldn't find the white box Mandalorian figure. A lot of my friends that we all went out on Force Friday, the Mandalorian was the one figure that a lot of guys couldn't find in the white box. I eventually found I think I found this one. Yes, I got this Force Friday at Barnes & Noble. And then I got this in the mail. These aren't part of my Canadian trip, but it's just nice. This was the only one that I was going to get all the different versions of, because I just thought it was kind of cool. You know, I might keep them and just like set them up because I really like the way they look. But like I said, these weren't part of my trip haul, but you know, I just wanted to show those off because I don't, just for those two figures, or actually the carbonized one, I'm not going to do another video just for him. Alright, so the next part of the haul are a couple of the figures that I got on the ride home. These two were, again, EB Games, and again, I'm not a pop collector. I keep saying that, but it seems like then more and more I get some of these, and I guess technically I am a pop collector. But one of the ones, the types of pops that I like are the flocked ones, and I really like Fortnite. I like the idea of the game. I'm more of a PUBG player now, but I like the flocked different characters. I have 2 or 3 other flocked ones, and actually getting the flocked one and then getting Jeffrey had me running on eBay looking, because I do remember there was a flocked Jeffrey, and I found one for a pretty decent price. The box is all beat up, but I didn't want to pay like 40-50 bucks. And then the other pop is, I believe this is coming to the States as I want to say Walgreens exclusive, but just the fact that it has the EB Games exclusive sticker on it. And one idea I had, I think it was in my Force Friday video where I was talking about pops, and if someone had like all the Boba Fett's lined up, and then seeing this, and then I think I saw the Mandalorian, he might be in the same pose, and that got me thinking, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's something I'll do. So I got him. If I do get those Boba Fett's and stuff, that's probably the only character I'll collect, like where I get a bunch of them. Other than that, I'm not going to go out of my way to like get every single character or whatnot. So these next figures I'm going to go over are 2 WWE Elite figures that I got. And I've mentioned in the past that I mainly collect figures from my childhood. But I saw her, and she's a collector's edition. In the States, the way they're doing it is like a Walmart gets a certain figure in a wave as an exclusive, and then Target gets another one. But I figured I do a lot of trading online and stuff like that, so but I couldn't pass her up, so I figured I could get her and do some trading online or trade with some local collectors or whatnot for a figure that I would want to get. And then this one, I believe she's supposed to be the same. If you notice on the bottom, I don't know if the glare is going to catch it, but here it doesn't say Collector's Edition, and it doesn't have like the first time in the line. But I saw her mainly. I wanted to build the Riot Squad, and thinking about it, I was like, if I can get all of the members, which I think Sarah Logan is starting to hit now, then maybe I will do that. If I can't, then I'll just also use her as trade bait. You know, it's not that big of a deal. But I mainly picked those up just because like it was like the Spurs. I think the ToysRus we went to that I found those at was like the worst ToysRus on our trip. It reminded me of like one of the saddest ToysRus that we have here in the States before they closed. So I was like, gotta get something. But anyway, so this next item I'm gonna go over is something that It's not really it's not something that I got personally in Canada, but while I was up in Canada, some of my family was visiting the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Florida, and he texted me and asked me if I needed anything, and he was able to get me this new droid set. You can only get these at the Disney park stores, I believe. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if this is available just at Galaxy's Edge or if this is available at like the stores that are all throughout the Disney parks. But I got a couple of the droid packs in the past. I think I have one. I had one over here for a while that one of my friends got me. So that's one of the things I like. My son collects a lot of astromechs, so it's kind of like something that we bounce back and forth. Um, and the fact blue's my favorite color, and there was two blue droids, so I thought that was kind of cool. And he also threw in this. This was one of the things that was all over the news a couple months ago, where people were getting banned from taking him on the planes or whatnot. He drove, so he didn't have a problem, but that was just something I could throw up on the shelf. So that's my haul. I hope you guys liked the trip. I tried to record as much as I could. After a while, I wasn't recording too much because going into 3 or 4 different EB games or 3 or 4 Walmarts and not finding stuff, it's almost pointless to record that stuff. But it was fun. We want to go back. The time we went was perfect because all the leaves were changing and stuff like that. If I ever do go back, I'll probably try to do another video and stuff like that. But thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm trying to get to 50. I think I'm only a few away from 50, and then I'd like to get to 100 by the end of the year, and just slowly build from that. I'm not too obsessed with getting like thousands of subscribers. That's not really that important to me, but I think that just like setting small goals is something I want to try to do. So please subscribe if you haven't. Like the video, comment, let me know if like you had a favorite thing that I picked up, and if you would like to see more, you know, hauls and hunts and stuff like that I did like this. And then I'll see you guys on the next video.